I gave birth to my son, my was huge. And the reason why my was so huge because I almost came 20, and you already know my already have some shots. So my was already huge as like putting that baby weight on my body plus the shots.
Things are getting messy and maybe even a little stinky in. The world of Cardi B and social media has been eating it up. Rumors about Cardi's BBL resurfaced after her Coachella performance, and not in a flattering way. A viral photo from the event sparked backlash, with fans claiming her body looked botched. Cardi tried to defend herself by saying the photo was edited, but people quickly pointed out that Getty Images doesn't retouch photos. What you see is what you get. To fight back, Cardi posted a new pic showing off her figure, and while many thought she looked great, others weren't buying it. Accusations flew that she had heavily photoshopped the image to hide the truth. Fans started picking apart her body, saying the surgery has gone too far this time. In typical Cardi B fashion, she clapped back hard, dragging her critics by calling them ugly and broke. Amid all the drama, NFL star Stefon added fuel to the fire. Rumors swirled that he had been romantically linked to Cardi, but after the Coachella buzz, it seems he's gone back to his ex. Whether or not Cardi's BBL played a role in that decision, fans are speculating, and the internet is running wild with theories. While Cardi has always been open about her surgeries, some say the results are becoming more questionable, and now the situation is spiraling into full-on chaos.
Always you stupid, weak as this. It's never the bad news. It's never the bad. You know what it is? It's never the bad news, and it's never the trans news. The cunt trans with it. The cunt trans always with it. The bad with it. The niggas with the money with it. It's always you bad bill, angry, jealous niggas, and it's always you fucking funky, ugly country butch queens that don't got no style. Because the butch queens that get it. But the poor ones always talking shit.
And if things weren't already messy, the streets are now saying Cardi B's BBL allegedly smells so bad, in fact, that it might be the reason Stefon called it quits. According to sources, their relationship has reportedly ended, and the alleged reason? He just couldn't handle the stench anymore. Not only did Stefon dump Cardi, but he also ran right back to his ex, who seemed more than happy to take him back. She posted cozy pictures of the two of them, and even shared screenshots of their text messages, which showed they'd been in steady contact. Let's just say, it didn't sound like two people reconnecting after weeks of silence. It sounded like she might have been on standby the whole time Stefon was with Cardi. In a not-so-subtle jab, Stefon's ex posted, "I hate when a ninja act like he wasn't just crashing out being a stalker, but I'll let them have social media and play my part so he can get his clout." She followed that up with, "I don't post him, I be with him in real life, and we be doing it raw." That was a lot. Now the internet is buzzing that Cardi's stank BBL might have been the final straw, and while no one's confirming it, fans can't help but wonder. Let's be real. Cardi has always been open about getting work done, but this might just be one of those cases where things went too far. Hollywood's full of people tweaking and touching up their bodies, but unlike Cardi, most of them pretend it's all just a new makeup trick or some vegan diet. Cardi, on the other hand, keeps it blunt, and maybe that bluntness just caught up to her. Let's be honest, there are a lot of celebrities out here pretending that green juice and yoga are responsible for their totally transformed faces and bodies. No names. But we know some of these glow-ups didn't come from kale smoothies alone. Cardi B, however, has always been a different story. Unlike many celebs who act like they just woke up with a new nose and curves, Cardi has been refreshingly upfront about the cosmetic procedures she's had done. She's spoken openly about enhancing her body and has even warned fans to think long and hard before going under the knife. That kind of honesty is rare, and a lot of people respect her for it. If there's one thing Cardi is going to do, it's keep it real. But lately, fans have started to question whether she might be going too far. There's been growing chatter online about how her appearance seems to be changing again, and not necessarily in a good way. Some are wondering if all the surgeries and tweaks are beginning to take a toll. What many people don't realize is that Cardi's relationship with plastic surgery has deep roots. If you've been following her from the beginning, you know a big reason she started altering her body was tied to how she grew up. In her community, the ideal body was thick, big booty, full chest, and an hourglass figure. Cardi didn't fit that mold. She's talked about being super skinny as a kid, and in her world, that wasn't considered attractive. She was one of the only girls around her without that curvy body type, and instead of letting it roll off her back, it really affected her. She got teased, bullied, and over time, it chipped away at her confidence. It made her feel like she wasn't beautiful, like something was wrong with her.
We come from nationalities that they praise big girls, that they praise as they praise thighs, they praise all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to just be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna walk around my flat. No. Some of y'all happy with it, that's great, but that just wasn't me when I was young, so.
Things really started to shift for Cardi when she got into stripping, but not in the way people might assume. Contrary to the glamorized image some have of the strip club world, stepping into that space didn't immediately boost her confidence or make her feel empowered. In fact, when she first started dancing, she still had a slimmer frame, and in that environment, curves were everything. A thick body was currency in the club, and once again, Cardi found herself on the outside looking in, despite entering a world where many assume women feel celebrated for their looks. Cardi still felt overlooked and insecure. Years of being teased and feeling like she wasn't enough had already taken a toll, and this only made things worse. Eventually, Cardi saved up enough money to get her first cosmetic procedure, a breast augmentation at just 18 years old. And for a while, it helped. It gave her a boost, both physically and emotionally. She began to feel more like the version of herself she had always wanted to see in the mirror. But anyone who knows about cosmetic surgery knows it's rarely a one-and-done situation. It can become addictive, not just psychologically, but physically too, as many procedures require ongoing touch-ups, maintenance, or even full revisions. For Cardi, that first surgery marked the beginning of a longer journey. She had carried deep-rooted insecurities for so long that fixing one thing made it easier to keep going. Although her confidence improved a bit and she started earning more, she still didn't make as much money as the curvier dancers. Her body still didn't fully fit the mold of what was most profitable in that world. She still had a flat butt, and in that industry, that was a major setback.
When I was a dancer and everything, I had the teeth, I had the bomb tattoos, I had a six-pack, I could do a whole split, everything, but not split, but I could do crazy pole tricks, all that shit, but I was missing some.
To make matters worse, around that same time, Cardi was also dealing with heartbreak. Her boyfriend was cheating on her, and in her mind, the reason felt painfully obvious. The other woman had a bigger booty. She started believing that if she just had more curves, maybe he wouldn't have looked elsewhere. But here's the thing. Cardi was only 20, living in New York, and didn't have the money to afford a licensed, reputable plastic surgeon. To complicate things further, she was still very thin, meaning she didn't have enough body fat for a Brazilian butt lift, which uses fat from your own body. So instead of taking the safe route, Cardi turned to a woman named Donna Francis and paid $800 for illegal silicone injections in her butt and thighs. If that name sounds familiar, It's because Donna Francis later made headlines when one of her clients tragically died during an unlicensed procedure. The case exploded into a major legal scandal, and Donna was eventually arrested and sent to prison for running an illegal silicone injection business. Thankfully, Cardi survived the procedure without life-threatening complications, but that doesn't mean she got off easy. In an interview with GQ, she described the experience as agonizing. "They don't numb your butt or anything," she said. "It was the craziest pain ever. I felt like I was going to pass out. I felt a little dizzy, and it leaks for like 5 days. After those early procedures, Cardi slowed down for a while. She had finally achieved the body she'd always dreamed of and didn't feel the immediate need to go back under the knife. But that peace didn't last forever. Fast forward to 2019, after giving birth to her daughter, culture everything changed again. Like many new moms, Cardi faced the reality of postpartum body changes. She decided to undergo another round of surgery, including a breast enhancement to address the effects of breastfeeding and liposuction to get rid of lingering baby weight. But this time, things took a turn. Cardi didn't give herself enough time to heal. Her schedule was packed with performances and appearances, and instead of resting and recovering properly, she pushed herself back into work. Eventually, the physical toll of the surgeries and the non-stop stress started to catch up with her, and her body began to suffer. At one point, things got so rough that Cardi's body literally started reacting. After her liposuction, her feet became so swollen that she posted a picture online. And let's just say, it wasn't a good look. It was obvious her body was begging for a break. The swelling scared her enough to finally take her doctor's advice. Stop performing and rest. That moment really shook her. And it seemed to spark a change in how she viewed surgery. She even posted, "I've been working out for the past 2 weeks, 'cause I ain't getting surgery again." For a while, Cardi genuinely tried to slow down. After her tough recovery, especially from the swelling, she decided to play it safe. So when she started feeling insecure about her nose, she initially opted for a non-surgical fix using fillers. But the fillers didn't give her the look she wanted. In fact, they made her nose look a bit off. Not happy with the results, she eventually decided to go through with a full rhinoplasty to get it done the right way. But that wasn't the end of her journey. After giving birth to her son Wave in 2021, Cardi opened up about wanting a tummy tuck. She explained that she had loose skin around her stomach that wouldn't go away, no matter how much she worked out. Still, it wasn't just the tummy tuck that got people talking. Was the noticeable changes in her butt. Fans couldn't help but point out that her curves looked different. Her waist was incredibly snatched, but her booty seemed even bigger, which threw off her proportions. Naturally, the internet started buzzing. People accused her of secretly getting more injections or going under the knife again. The comment sections lit up, with critics saying her body looked unnatural or even unhealthy. But Cardi, being Cardi, wasn't about to let the rumors run wild. Without clapping back, she jumped on Instagram Live and denied getting any new shots. At the same time, she kept it honest, admitting that she knew her butt looked a little weird. She didn't try to fake perfection or act like she didn't see what everyone else was seeing.
After I gave birth to my son, my was huge. And the reason why my was so huge is I almost gained 20. And you already know my already have some shots. August, I did surgery because a lot of people thought that as soon as I gave birth, I got my body done. No, I didn't. In August, I did surgery and I removed 95% of my bowel fingers. But of course, right, they took it out of me, but they still have to shape my butt because they took a lot of shots out. So My butt is a little fluffy now.
It's clear that Cardi has some regrets about her past surgeries, especially since she's now warning young women not to repeat the same mistakes she made when she was younger.
All I'm gonna say is, right, that if you young, if you 19, if you 20, if you 21, and sometimes you too skinny, and you be like, oh my God, I don't got enough fat to fill up my ass and everything, so you resort to shots, don't do it. Like, I am super against the shots.
So, it seems like for a while now, people have been saying that Cardi's BBL just hasn't been giving what it used to. She's reportedly been trying to fix it, but as many know, reversing or adjusting cosmetic work isn't always simple. Somewhere along the way, though, rumors started swirling that things took a turn for the worse, allegedly so bad that it started to smell. And that's when Stefon supposedly called it quits and ran back to his ex. But to be fair, Stefon isn't exactly a saint himself. He's basically Offset 2.0. He's got a reputation for being a player and a serial cheater. In fact, Young Miami reportedly dumped him for the same reason. They were linked for a few weeks before she suddenly tweeted, "I can't fall in love with no young, rich, out